The Against All Odds podcast, sponsored by Oak Forest Recovery. Welcome to the Against All Odds podcast. You've got myself, RJ, co-host, Rachel, and we've got Hunter, and we've got one of my favorite people on the planet, Eamon, also known as Boof Pack.
Oh,
Look him up on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch.
No more Twitch.
No more Twitch.
Those days are done.
Yeah, just look up Boof Pack. He's got some shit going on.
Just don't Google Boof Pack. Because something else might pop up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Dude.
Well, shit, you and I know each other kind of well.
Yeah.
I've been kind of a part of your journey, which...
Since day one.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, man.
It's been a wild one, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
But these two don't know, and anybody watching doesn't know.
Yeah.
Give us some of the background, man. Where are you from?
From Maine originally, a little harbor town called Camden. Born and raised there. Went to, grew up skating. Started that at 5 and just kind of took off from there. Didn't really have, the best home life going on. Sister was kind of crazy, but I didn't know why because I was so young. And then mom left when I was 10 to move to the Midwest to essentially provide for our family because things just weren't going well with their jobs. And they both in the medical field, and Maine was kind of not nice at the time. Yeah. So mom left when I was 10, and then would only see her 3 or 4 times a year. And that was holidays. And then she would come home for holidays, and it would just be a shit show.
Parents got divorced when that happened? Or
No, parents got divorced when I turned 18.
Oh, wow.
They waited, which, props to them for that. But because I would have if I were my mom, I would have been peace.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then...
So you've been skateboarding since you were 5?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Can we play one of these videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which video should we play on your gram?
Oh, any of them really. I mean,
they're all pretty dope, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no. Can you not unless you're logged in?
Dang.
Can you log into it? You have. Yeah, well, that's the problem.
Everybody's gonna
those
see
don't
your
work,
password.
dude. They don't work.
Go play the YouTube. Yeah. Play that
okay.
YouTube video.
Have you seen his skating?
Yeah. We follow each other.
Yeah.
So.
Boof.
Let's go.
That just happened to be there?
Yeah. Well, it said some other thing on it, but they just angled the camera.
Oh, this shit's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Were you terrified doing that?
No.
Holy shit.
I'd been wanting to skate that spot for 2 years.
This video is fire.
Yeah,
all right,
dude.
pause it. All right, so skating at 5.
Yeah.
And then skating kind of became an escape for you, right?
Skating was everything for me.
Yeah.
It got me out of the house. It got me away from bullies at school.
Mm-hmm.
It also added to the bullying, but that's just growing up in a super small town where the best thing to do is play soccer or baseball or football.
Yeah.
It's I'm kind of the outcast, which I didn't necessarily mind because I was already the outcast in my family, it felt like. So skating was just the ultimate. I can go do whatever I want. I can be creative. I can get all this anxiety and essentially hatred for everything out. And then just kind of bred this whole thing in my life. That was all right, cool, let's go to contests. All right, cool, wait, I'm really good at this. Where can I go with it? And then started traveling the whole country at 10.
So your parents supported you in that?
Yeah. 100%. There's no way I would have been able to do it
They were
without them.
damn, he's actually kind of good.
Yeah. Well, and also I just wouldn't give it up.
Right.
They'd be like, you want
What's your
to
thing?
do something else? And I'm like, no. This is what I'm going to be when I'm older. was either that or a cook, which I am now a cook. So I got to do both. It's like
Hell
perfect
yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. Like I would wake up, skate to school, and then like middle school, like my school and the skate park were literally like a stone's throw distance from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as school ended, I'd be there until it got dark out, and then get a call from my parents being like, hey dude, like you should probably come home, it's late. I'm like, fuck, all right. So I'd skate home, but like skate every spot on the way home, and it would take me like 3 hours to get home. They're like, dude, what the hell? So yeah, that was like the average childhood day.
Mm-hmm.
And then even in the winter, it was like, winter was my off season from skating.
Yeah.
So I'd go snowboarding and then do that all day. And then on the weekends, go train for skating, go to contests on the weekend, and like whatever.
Right. And so
That
then
was
what
great.
happened with that? Where did that all take you?
Took me here, California.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, well, okay. So started smoking weed when I was like
What age?
12, 13.
Okay.
Like super young.
Walk us through the first experience getting high.
Oh, dude. It was like, I couldn't even tell if I was high because it was like, I got it from one of my friends who got it from their friend who got it from like some random person's like dad's cabinet. And it was like we had like the apple pipe going.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Were you at the skate park?
no, I was at my friend's house.
Okay.
And we were just like in the backyard, like thought we were hidden, but we were definitely in plain sight now that I look back on it, like just in the middle of the backyard. And I like got so high, and then I was like, why am I hungry? And then I just like started eating random things that I would never eat.
Yeah.
And then that was pretty much it. But I couldn't tell, like, I don't know how to even explain it. Like I didn't feel high, but I felt like I
Felt
felt
like normal, but a little better.
yeah, like I felt at peace in a way, because I was like, oh, okay, like I'm not worried about anything. I'm just gonna go eat food. And then I tried to skate after, and it just didn't work. No, like I couldn't even push my skateboard. It was so bad. I fell over. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, is this even weed?
Yeah.
And yeah, that kind of started it. And then I would just go to the skate park and get high with my friends,
Got it.
and I wouldn't even skate. And I was like, oh, this is kind of bad. And then just kept doing it.
And at that time, were you still traveling and skating?
Oh,
or-
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I like went to a friend's house the night before, like a big skate contest, and just got like super fried.
Yeah.
Like spent all my money for this like travel for this contest on weed and like alcohol and shit. And then got so fucked up, pulled up to the contest and just blew it. Like dropped in, fell on my first trick, and I was like, yep, it's done.
You felt the weed that time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. And I was just like, why? Like I'm puking on the stairs, like walking up to the vert ramp because I'm like can't breathe and I'm doing so much, and then my stomach hurts because I'm all like hungover and still like.
How old were you at the time?
14.
Damn.
Yeah, like still in like what is that, like
It's like middle
freshman
school.
year?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just who the fuck's doing that? But
So then, how does it progress? Where does it go from there?
then I like I broke my leg skiing instead of snowboarding for 1 year, and it was 3 days before my first pro contest.
Oh no.
Yeah, where I was like still living in Maine, was supposed
Pro
to travel.
skate contest.
Yeah,
Okay.
was supposed to travel out to California for it. Had my flight, everything. Like sponsors were looking forward to seeing me, and I was super hyped on it. Broke my leg, and I was out for 3 months, and I just ghosted everybody in skating, ghosted all my friends, you know, and just like hated life. And I was homeschooled too at this point because I was traveling so much for skating. So I just like stayed inside and vegged out. Like it was just one phone number in my phone was like my local dealer.
Right.
I'd call him up, be like, hey, can you just like, please? Like, so I just started doing anything I could get my hands on
Got it.
in my house because my parents weren't home. Like, mom's in Kansas City, dad's at work. It's just me in a house. Like, I can get my schoolwork done in like 2 hours if you're homeschooled, all online. Like I cheated my way through school. I'm just playing video games, getting high on the couch. So then that sparked a whole thing. So got super depressed, hated life, and just like started the downward spiral super early.
What year was this? How old are you now?
I'm 27 now.
27.
So this was like, 13, 14 years ago? That started like, that was where it really, really took over.
Did your parents know that you had a problem at this point?
No. At least, in my head, my alcoholic brain being like, no, no one knows.
Yeah.
But probably showing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just like stopped caring about like myself and like other people. Became like extra angsty teenager. How it goes. And then like stopped skating. And then as soon as I got back on snow was that year too, like because I ghosted skating, like sponsors dropped me, everyone dropped me, and I was just like, all right, well, guess I'm done skating. And then got back on snow, started skiing again.
Oh my God, I thought you were talking about cocaine this whole time. I'm
no, sports.
Yeah.
Sports.
Yeah.
Got back
He's
on.
an extreme sports.
Yeah.
Anything that's a board and you can fly.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
But
and get super injured.
Yeah.
Okay. It's my favorite. Got back on the snow and just like did that. I was like, oh, okay, like this is kind of cool. I wonder how high I can get while on the hill and like see what goes down. I'm like, dude, like I just went through this whole process. Like I didn't learn from my mistakes, but I'm also super young. So it's like, no, dude, you're just going to keep going until something bad happens.
And you live
over
right
and
next
over.
to like a local ski
Yeah,
town or?
I was like, so the mountain was like a hill.
Yeah.
It's like 6 minutes from my house.
Okay.
I could walk there if I wanted,
Yeah.
which I did a lot, especially on snow days, because like my car wasn't making it out of the driveway.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to shovel it either, so I just like walk over the hill, get some laps in, then walk home. It was great. But
so you pick up skiing and then what?
And just like kind of got me back into it a little bit, like getting my leg going again. And then I was just like, let's see how high we can get. And then I started hanging out with even more unfavorable people. And it just got worse from there.
Unfavorable.
Yeah, like, dude, I'm like fucking 14 doing blow on a chairlift. And like friends are just like, it's like a normal thing. At 14, which doesn't make any sense in my head still to this day, where it's like, that's just what we did. Like, we knew the people who worked the park crew at the mountain. So we just would like go into the shack and just like get loaded. And then, cause like our parents wouldn't know, they'd be like, oh, how was the hill there? And you're like, it was sick. Learn this new trick. Meanwhile, I'm just doing like railing lines all day.
And then
like,
what happens?
And then started selling drugs, like got my hands on it. And I was like, oh, I can make some extra money. Started selling drugs, started only hanging out with like my local dealer. He became my best friend, which was sick.
That's always the best.
Yeah.
It's the best friend to have, you know?
You're like, oh, dude, like I can sometimes get free drugs or like get drugs for a cheaper price. And you're like, oh, this is sick. And then parents caught me.
How?
A lot.
With blow?
No, this was like with like weed.
Oh, okay.
But I had a lot of weed stashed in like this little loft that I had. And luckily always had like, I'd keep the harder stuff outside of the house as best as I could.
Yeah.
But my dad walks in the door one day and I'm just upstairs like getting some drugs ready to like go out, like just selling some weed. And he's like, dude, I can smell it from outside the house. I'm like, oh, this is bad. Meanwhile, I was like just smoking a lot. And then he's like, dude, what are you doing? Like you had all this going for you and now like my son is the drug dealer. My son sells weed. Like, dude, you're a burnout. I was like, oh, okay. If that's what you think, like, because my dad and I never had like the sickest relationship. Like you know that the most. So I was just like, all right, fuck you. That's what I'm going to be then. I was like, if you think I'm this, then that's what I am. And I just embraced it. And yeah, so I just like amplified it. And then kept getting caught by him. And then got caught with like harder stuff.
Did you have any consequences from it then?
No. He would like try to ground me. I'd be like, all right, watch this. And just walk up to him, take my car keys and leave.
But like in the rest of your life, were you experiencing any like consequences?
Like before I was 17, I had like 9 weed charges in Maine.
Wow.
Which was like, if it was under an ounce, it's like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Like all I had to do was go pee in a cup once a week. And half the time I was being dirty.
Yeah.
And they would just be like, dude, what, like, we're going to send you to juvie. I'm like, no, you're not. Yeah. And then I went in, the one drug test, I was like, for sure passing.
It was dirty.
No, it was clean. Like I was for sure passing this drug test. She calls me and she's like, hey, I'm not in the office. Can we reschedule for next week? I'm like, I got so mad. I was like, what the fuck?
You were hella excited to pass it.
I was like so stoked. I was like, this is the one time. Yeah.
Fucking.
I was so mad.
Yeah.
And like my mom had just visited and we went on this like little family trip to Massachusetts to see like my extended family. And I dropped my mom off at the airport. My dad's still there. Open house to myself for a weekend. It's like still midsummer. No one's in school. I'm like,
house party.
I'm throwing a rager.
Yeah.
I like my dining room table was just like mushrooms, weed, like morphine pills, Valium, like anything we could get our hands on, just all across the table. And my aunt's just like, hey, to my dad, was just like, hey, where's Eamon? He's like, oh, he's at home. Like, I'm pretty sure he's like doing stuff this week. Why? She's like, I don't have a good feeling about this. She drove 5 hours.
Oh, shit.
To my house.
Your aunt.
Yeah. To my house, opens the door.
In the middle of this.
The middle of it. I'm midline of some blow.
Oh, my God.
And I just look up and she's like, dude. I go, all right, everyone get the fuck out. And then like gave my one friend like all my drugs. I was like, yo, keep these safe.
So did she saw everything?
She saw everything.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I was just like, ooh, sorry. And then she tried to ground me. Like she was like, I'm not leaving this front, like the driveway until your dad gets back. And I'm like, you don't know me. So I threw my skateboard out my window and then ran downstairs to the back where we had like a bathroom, popped the screen off, grabbed my board and ran. I was like, I'm out. Sorry. Like, you're not catching me. She gets in her car, somehow finds me because I said I was going to go to the ledges, which is like this swimming hole, like little cliff jumping spot. She finds me, grabs the back of my shirt and just drags me to the car. I was like, oh shit, like I'm actually caught.
She wasn't fucking around.
No, dude. Like that was one where I was like,
Is your mom's sister or your dad's?
Dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
She doesn't play fucking games.
No,
That's
dude.
what it sounds like. Yeah.
And she scared me.
Are you close with her now?
Yeah.
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 Oh,
No,
I
she's the
love
best.
that. That's tight.
Yeah. She's like, I remember when you get loaded at the house. I'm like, oh, dude. Like, I thought I was getting away with it. Like, I thought I was sneaky. She's like, no, dude. Like, you would leave it all everywhere. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right.
When did you move to LA?
2017.
Okay.
And what brought you to LA?
Skateboarding. I just wanted to like skate full time and just never stop. And
what did that look like? You had like some deal out here, or like
no,
you were just like, I'm gonna go to LA and I'm just gonna figure it out.
Yeah, dude, I had $2,000 in my bank account. I had won a contest 2 months prior. I literally won it. I made like, I think it was like $3,000 on it because I won the contest in best trick. Nebraska.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was in Kansas City.
So you get back into skating.
Yeah, 17. Parents were like, I've had enough. This is like my first rehab.
Yeah.
And parents were like, I had enough.
And you went to rehab.
Yeah. My dad calls me and this is like, I'm like sobering up a little bit. I'm just smoking weed and drinking now. I get a job at the mountain park crew. Like spent a whole week on this park for opening day. Day before it opens, my dad goes, hey, we're going to go to Florida and see your mom and your sister.
Oh, no.
I have this conference. And I'm like, dude, like I can't. Like I have work. He's like, Meanwhile, I never got paid from this job because I never wrote my hours in because I was so damn high every day. I just loved it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, I don't really care. Like, so next day, go to Florida. My dad rents a Mustang. I'm like, dude, you don't have like money like this. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm the one with the money right now. I don't know why you're like doing all this. And I flew in with like an eighth of like dabs when like the trippy sticks, like dab pen was a thing. Had that in my pocket and like some dabs in my backpack. No one said shit. I was like getting high on the airplane. No one said shit. It was really weird. And then so land, get the Mustang. I'm like, yo, what's going on? He takes me to a nice dinner. I'm like, dude, where are you getting this money from?
Buttering you up?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I get to see my mom tomorrow. Like my sister I haven't seen in like 3 years. Like, what's going on?
Did they Marchman act you?
What's that mean?
That's like where you go to Florida and they force you to go to rehab?
No. They had already like set it up.
Yeah.
So next day my dad's like, where do you want to skate? I'm like, dude, like I'm gonna hit up my homies, like my Florida friends, like let's go. So we start going to the skate park and then he just takes a left and I'm like, oh, that's not the way to the skate park, my dude. And then he pulls into this like office building and I just see this kid. I'll never forget it, dude. I see his blue backpack. He looks up at me, puts his head down, just shakes it. And I just look at my dad and I go, you motherfucker.
It was another client.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I started freaking out. Like, I started like hysterics. Like, I started getting like, mad. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how could you do this, dude? Like, I'm your kid. Like, what are you doing right now? He's like, you weren't going to learn. Like, unless you
And he's
die.
like, you're going.
Yeah.
What part of Florida was it in?
West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Palm Beach Institute. It's great.
How long did you stay there for?
30 days. Graduated high school in there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
Then you get out and then what?
Go to Kansas City with my mom. My mom picked me. Like, that was the last time I saw my dad for 2 years. He dropped me off and I was like, I'm never talking to you again. I didn't talk to him. And then my mom picks me up. It's just like, all right, let's go. And then I just went to Kansas City and kind of started the whole new life, which was great. Like,
Got back into skating.
got back into heavily. Started skating with all the Kansas City dudes. And they
And you
like,
were staying sober during all this?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I stayed sober.
Were you doing
for-
meetings and all that, or just kind of?
See, I tried to go to meetings there, but it was through my mom works for the VA.
Okay.
So I would go to like gnarly, like war vet meetings, and I'm a skater kid from the East Coast, like the Northeast. So I'd just like walk into a meeting. The lead would just be like, yeah, I saw 5 of my friends blow up in an IED. I'm like, dude, I can't relate to this in any way. And they're like, I'm like, I will never be able to share that experience with you, like at all. Like, yeah, I've had friends die, but from overdoses and like DUI stuff, not a literal bomb. So it was like not for me. And then it's like, all right, I'm just going to tough it out. That didn't work, clearly. But yeah, I stayed sober for like 7-8 months. And then met a group of friends at the skate park. I was like, my mom's gone for 2 weeks.
Throw another house party.
Another house party went down, dude.
Oh yeah.
My sister was like, because I had like just reconnected with my sister. I'm like, oh yeah, if I just like drink a little bit, it'll be fine. Because she wasn't there to witness the unfolding in Maine, because she was in Florida at school.
Right.
So I was just like, yeah, if I just have like 1 or 2 beers, it's fine. Here's $40 for like a 30 rack and a bottle. And she was like, yeah, okay. And meanwhile, like my friends had like 2 or 3. I had the rest. It was great. Blackout every night for like a week and a half straight.
Then what happens?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what happened when your mom got home?
Dude, I was like, it was pretty like fine. I just didn't tell her. I didn't tell her. I cleaned up after
So
myself.
it was still
like I hit it.
Like it was still good.
Yeah, it wasn't like crazy yet.
And then how long after that do you come to LA to skate?
3 years.
Okay.
So like Kansas City, I was like pretty mellow.
Yeah.
Like had a normal job.
Yeah.
Was like stocking
Your
shelves.
mom kind of
Yeah.
holding camp.
Yeah. Stocking shelves at Target. the occasional, you know, one of the coworkers woke up at 2 a.m. to get to work on time, left some meth in the bathroom for me. Yeah, that was my like first big experience with meth.
Got it.
It was great.
Okay.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
But like,
you loved it at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like, you know, it's like there. I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
I'll get this done faster. It's not the case at all, but and then yeah, so it was like pretty manageable till I got to California, where I had like I moved here with my friend from Maine, and we had a 1-bedroom apartment in Oceanside, where I was paying like $650 a month. I was like, hell yeah, this is great. Got a job at Vaughn's, worked there for maybe 2 days, and then they were like, hey, you're gonna work like Christmas Day. And I was like, no, I'm fucking not. Like, I'm out. And then I just left and started skating. Kept skating every day. Would go to LA to skate, try and film as much as I could. And then started hanging out at this one skate shop. And this was like, my friend was like having second thoughts on living in California. So I was looking for a new apartment. Found an apartment. Same day I went to the skate shop, filmed a clip. It went viral the next day.
Really?
Yeah. Like almost 1 million views on Thrasher.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, on the Instagram. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I can do this. Meanwhile, I was going to like quit.
What was the clip?
Backside 360 over a parking meter into the street.
Oh, I
Off
think
this
I've seen
ramp.
that. Yeah, I've seen that video. Yeah.
And I was like days before that, I was like, dude, I'm going to hang it up.
Yeah.
Like
this
nothing's
isn't
working. Yeah, like I'm over it. Like I'll just go back to the Midwest and like become a finance bro or sell insurance or something. Like I had no idea what I wanted to what I could do. And then yeah, that started this whole thing for me where I was just skating every fucking day.
And filming it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything.
What kind of attention did you start to get after that?
Oh, dude, Instagram blew up. Like this is like pre-TikTok, post-Vine. Like YouTubers were like the vloggers, like
Yeah.
Jake Paul and all that. Like that's when that like whole scene was going on. I was like, oh, okay. Like, cool, I can do this with Instagram. Started skating with like people I looked up to because they were like, oh, you're that kid who did this trick. And that was huge for me. And I started filming a video part. And then nothing really came from that because I was like, I'm just going to get loaded. Because I was like, had access now. I had access and like would make my little money on the side from like Venmo scams and shit.
What's a Venmo scam?
Oh, like,
Yeah, break that down for
Yeah,
us.
break it down.
like there was a way to essentially you'd send out money or something and then change the card info back to yours and then like deposit the money into your bank account.
To just innocent victims.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, that's how I like got by for a little bit. And it wasn't like a lot. It was like some like $50.
Yeah.
Just to, like get some food or something. Or like if someone had an Uber Eats account, I would like kind of just steal their phone and order myself food. Did that a lot. And then I'd get like shoes sent to me or like just some like I was kind of bumming it where I was like, I'll take anything I can get for free and then I'm going to use it once and sell it just so I can make money. And that's how I paid my rent. That's how I kind of fed myself for like 6 months. And I was like, okay, like I can't keep doing this. So I'm going to change my life a bit. Started seeing someone. That ended terrible because first date I blacked out. I just got hammered because I was so nervous. And then, then with skating, I started going to this like training facility a lot. And that's where I lived because it was back in Oceanside. I had moved to LA and I would drive from LA to Vista, Oceanside area every day. And just like all my money was going to gas. And that's where I spent my life. I'd like get super high before, get super high after. Hopefully no one would notice. And I would just skate for 8 to 12 hours a day. And that's where like things really turned for me. in a good way with skating.
What happened?
Got noticed by a bunch of like not sponsors but like reps.
Mm-hmm.
So I started getting like free Nikes and really started to like meet more people in skating, and like got to go to Japan for a shoe release, got to meet more filmers so I'd actually be able to film my skating and just like really progress. And I was doing really well, and luckily this facility helped me like become better at contests and consistency and actually be able to do really cool shit.
Right.
So did that literally up until like COVID.
What was your most viral video?
During COVID
Yeah.
on TikTok.
Right.
Yeah, I like kickflipped a trash can, and it was like this one like line. So I did like 5 tricks in a row, and it was to like a Weekend song, like The Lights or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When that was going on,
Yeah.
and posted it, and it did so well.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? And like all these people I looked up to were like, this kid skates fast. I'm like, oh shit. Hell yeah, I do.
Mhm.
And then that's kind of where TikTok really took off for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
But-
And so then, when did you and I first meet?
Ooh.
Yeah. How
soon
did
after?
how did you guys
It wasn't
meet?
that far after that.
No, it was like 6 months after that.
6 months after that, and then so what's going on in your life at that point?
No, not even 6 months.
Yeah.
So had a little run in with the law.
Mm-hmm.
That was great during the whole like George Floyd riots.
Okay.
That was a thing.
What happened?
Oh, basically I just like was being an idiot and was out past curfew with some stolen goods in my car.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
And
okay.
Oh, it was during the riots.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
like fully
yeah.
gnarly in Long Beach.
Yeah.
And
In LA, it was crazy. We drove through LA
Yeah.
and turned down the wrong street on accident,
Yeah.
and it was like
Chaos.
thousands of people,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
shit on fire, spray painting buildings.
Yeah.
And my mom was driving and was like,
yeah, no, it was scary. It was scary. And so I'm like, I'm drunk because like I'm not allowed to leave my house, but I was leaving my house and I was just like, no one cares on this day. So I'm just like drinking on the sidewalk. Like I'm literally just carrying a bottle of Tito's,
Mhm.
just chugging it. No one's saying shit. I'm like, this is crazy.
Huh.
Like this is not okay. And so yeah, so get arrested, get put on the sheriff's bus, get sent down to the, like it was the courthouse because they had so many of us like below the courthouse. It
Mhm.
wasn't even like holding or anything. And then the next day I woke up and I was like, oh shit, like this is bad. Called a lawyer, did that whole thing, and then got really depressed because I was like, dude, I'm gonna go to jail. Like I'm going to jail for 6 months. Like me, long hair at the time, scrawny in California. I'm like, this is gonna be bad for me,
Fire
dude.
names.
I'm like, this is bad. I'm gonna like I have to
Fucking
shave
Little
my
Rascals or
head.
some shit.
Yeah, no, I was like, dude, I'm gonna have to like shave my head and get more tattoos or something. Like I have to go to the gym, like, freaking out. And I would just like also I'd like drink and drive everywhere.
Mhm.
Josh is dying.
Like I would drink and drive everywhere. So I go to this lawyer and I'm drinking the whole way there. I meet up with him. He smells the alcohol on my breath. He's like, how did you get here? I was like, dude, I just drove my car. Like, it's fine. He's like, no, it's literally not. Oh my gosh.
He's like, go home.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I'm gonna
Get an Uber.
he's like, I'm buying you an Uber home. Like, I'm like, you're leaving your car here, dude. I was like, all right, fine. Like, you're my lawyer. I'll like, I understand. And then, so life just kind of went downhill. I got really depressed, started using a lot more, like started getting back into heroin. And
Wait, back into heroin? When did
Like,
heroin come in?
I
You
tried
just
it.
dabbled a little bit?
I dabbled.
Are they calling you boof pack at this point?
Yeah, I've been boof pack since
Okay,
like
we got to get back
15.
to where that came from too. Okay, but go. Okay, so the heroin you just dabbled a little bit.
I
before.
dabbled in.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was like 16.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't really like take a liking to it because
Yeah.
I was like more of an uppers guy, and so once I got depressed, I was like, I just don't want to leave the house. So
Yeah.
like, might as well just get something to just like numb myself and just like kind of doze off and
Mm-hmm.
hate everything even more. And the girl I was seeing at the time, we used together, and like at first I was like, oh dude, like I'm in love, like we get to do drugs together like all the
So
time, like we
cool.
never get to leave the apartment because we're so fucked up, like. And then I was like, that's probably not good. So the night before, not really the night before, like 3 days, because I got 5150'd, but was drinking a lot, and I go to the rooftop of her apartment, and I'm just like drinking a beer and crying. I'm like, this is not okay. Like, I hate it here. I'm done. And I look over the edge of her like rooftop. I see the pool. I'm like, dude, it'd be sick if someone jumped off the roof into the pool. And I started climbing over the railing.
Oh no.
I'm like, I'm gonna do this shit. And
Oh
I'm like,
no.
halfway through, I'm like, no, like pull back, like this isn't okay. So I like go down to the apartment, open the door, close it, just fall to the ground crying. I'm like, dude, I need help, like really bad, like begging and pleading to God, like please something fucking help me. And she like drew me a bath or whatever. I had a couple Xanax. I'm still drinking. Both a bad mix. And I'm in the bathtub. I'm like, well, I can't hold my breath underwater and drown myself because that's not physically possible. So I'm just going to inhale water and fill my lungs up. So I start inhaling water and I'm like, oh, this is happening. And then she like runs in, pulls me out of the bathtub. And I'm like, I need more drugs. Like, this is like, I'm done. And yeah, she like gets me all like dried off and stuff. And I'm like not coherent really. And I remember like I still have a video of it on my phone that I look back on when I'm like really not mentally okay. And it's like this thing of me playing guitar going like, this is the last concert before I die. Just like super loaded, and her running in and like taking my phone away from me, which is like kind of, it's like a crazy wake up call every time I watch it. Because I'm like, this is where I got to.
Yeah, right.
And like, I never want to be in that place again. And then, yeah, I talked to you, RJ. Didn't know it was you. It's like, yo, Tim, what's up? And he's like, you're on a sick one, buddy. I'm like, yeah.
What was that phone call like from your perspective?
Well, it was like 2 a.m, and his girlfriend knew my girlfriend, and I think he was like, he was like trying to kill himself, right? And she was like freaking out, didn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And so I think she called my girlfriend like multiple times, right?
Multiple.
And then like she finally woke up because her phone kept ringing or buzzing. She answers it, which wakes me up. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm kind of like,
Go to bed.
I was a little
Yeah.
pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, are you okay? Like, you know what I mean? You could tell that it was like getting weird. And she was like, what, I'm not going to say her name, but
Yeah.
your girlfriend is on the phone.
Yep.
And he's
Freaking
talked to you. And I'm like, okay. And I like grab the phone. I'm half awake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like trying to wake myself up. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she was like, he's going to fucking kill himself. He's on the roof. He's going to jump. I'm like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, it was a
It's
lot.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially just waking up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she just put him on I think she put you on the phone.
I thought you were
And-
her dad.
Yeah. And then the voice of God came in.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Son, you will not do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And I just sat there and just kind of listened. And, you know, you were like, you know, in major, you know, victim sad boy mode, right?
Yeah, dude.
And
Wildly emo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were like kind of coherent, kind of not like fuck it. And then I think I did a little like reverse psychology on you
100%.
for sure.
100%.
And like heard you for a while, and then
Yeah.
I just fucking hit you with some hard fucking truth.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah. No, it was so crazy, dude.
yeah, and I just know it's not what you wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And
That's what I needed to, though.
yeah, for sure. And I think it kind of slapped you out of it for a second. And then I
Yeah.
told her, I'm like, you need to call 911. You need to call like
Yeah.
his mom. You need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to take the appropriate steps, right? So, yeah, that was my perspective.
Yeah. It
You
was
know what I mean?
crazy.
Yeah, it was.
And then you came into Oak Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
days later.
5150.
5150.
She called the police. Is that what happened? Or she called your
She
mom.
called-
Your mom called the police or something?
No, she called paramedics.
Mhm.
She didn't even call like 911. She like called, I think she called like the hospital or something.
Okay.
I'm kind of
Yeah,
unsure, but I get put into the ambulance, and the last thing I remember is they go, "Does he hit you?" And she's looking at me, and I'm so fucked up, just in this gurney,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Fucking look at him,"
Yeah.
and then lights out. I was taking I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a selfie." In the I have the photo on my phone, and I was like in the gurney in the hospital, but it wasn't a selfie. It was a picture of a fucking wall.
Yeah.
I just had a photo of a wall. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. That's where I'm at. So
Yeah.
woke up in the hospital. Don't even know where.
Mhm.
Like still to this day, don't know where.
Yeah.
And
Then your
like-
mom flew in.
mom flew in same day.
Yeah, and then
like,
she
dropped
drove
everything.
you
Yeah,
to
she-
Oak Forest.
Yeah, but the morning I went to Oak Forest, this is another funny story. With you. Yeah, I there was a night in between me getting out of the hospital and me going to Oak Forest.
Yeah.
Got loaded
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Woke up, got loaded.
Yeah.
And then my mom's like, all right, let's go to breakfast. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That's right. Because I was talking to your mom at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And I remember there was a delay, and I'm like, don't delay.
yeah.
I'm like,
yeah,
door
you're
to
like, get
door
him there.
transfer.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. So go to breakfast, start ordering champagne. I was like, all right, like mom's paying.
Yeah.
So like at this point, I'm like, I don't care. I'm going away.
Mhm.
Like I'm gonna have a sick
Getting your
one.
last one, yeah.
Yeah. And so I got super drunk, and I get to Oak Forest. I'm like hitting my weed pen, walking down the driveway,
Mhm.
and it died. And I go, no. I was like, Mom, hold on to this for me. I'm gonna need it later. She's like, no. Like, what are
yeah,
you doing?
sure. I'll hold on to it. Give it to me.
Yeah. And then I walk into Oak Forest and I see RJ. I saw someone else in the house.
Mhm.
And he's like, what's your name? I'm like, Eamon. He's like, your mom love you? I'm like, yeah, she's here. He goes, everybody meet Eamon. His
Yeah.
mom loves him. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, shit. I'm like getting outed.
Who
30
was
seconds.
that?
Makana.
Oh, was it
Oh,
Makana?
shit.
Fucking Makana.
His girlfriend's hot. His mom loves him. I'm like,
Yeah.
thanks, man.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
The surfer Makana.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking bobblehead, dude. Fucking
was like-
amazing.
Yeah,
That's
he-
so on brand, dude.
Yeah. He's the room next to me, too. So I
Yeah.
just hear like all night, dude. I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn.
That group back then was so great.
That was the sickest time.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
It was great.
It was a good time.
Bonfire was still at the men's house.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, I walk in Oak Forest. You're like, so when's your sobriety date? And I go, what do you mean, dude? I'm sober right now. And he goes, when did you last drink? Dude, like 2 hours ago, but I'm sober.
Yeah.
He's like, so tomorrow. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in
Oh
the
wait,
future.
did you sponsor?
No,
Not
briefly.
immediately?
No.
Yeah.
Matt Larson.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because he left the day I went in.
Yeah.
I literally took his bed, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Still thinking about it. But then he was my sponsor.
Mhm.
Yeah, still is now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's more of my dad, to be honest with you. Like he took over father figure in my life,
Yeah.
which is
that's
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'll call him about random like
Mhm.
I just had this crazy situation happen in my life with my old job.
Mhm.
And I was like, dude, talk some sense into me right now.
Yeah.
Like, be my dad. He's like, all right. He just started yelling at me. I'm like,
Yeah.
thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate that.
I feel like you and I've done that a few times.
So many times, dude.
All right. So you get sober, you go through Oak Forest,
Yep.
you work the steps.
Yeah.
And then what do you start doing in life, man? Because then you start getting involved in a bunch of really interesting things.
Yeah. Really took over on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Was like still posting once a day,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what it was. I had some clips go viral in Oak Forest, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of them, which was great.
Like skating in the.
Yeah, is
did
it
you ever
just
skate down the
skating
driveway
Just
or anything?
skating. Yeah.
Okay.
No, like I kind of cheated TikTok,
Uh-huh.
which I've like never talked about on camera.
Ooh.
So
Tune in.
skating, I have all my clips ever because of iCloud in my phone. So I would just like, I started from the very like first clip and would just post from my camera roll. Like
Yeah.
I never filmed a TikTok for like a year.
That's
Like I
fire,
would
though.
just, it was
Yeah.
sick and it worked.
That's what we all do.
Yeah.
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 Bank of
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
No, but I just like fully cheated it when everyone was like taking videos and shit. They're like, I gotta film this
They're like,
TikTok.
I've
I'm
had
like,
all
nah,
of
dude, I already
this."
got you. Like,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was doing that in Oak Forest and it was working out.
Mm-hmm.
How many followers do you have now on there?
Dude, like 200K. Like I quit
Yeah.
TikTok for a while.
TikTok kind of sucks right now.
Yeah,
TikTok
Anyways,
always
it's not.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah, started doing the social media thing. Found a group of friends. We got a content house together back in that era.
Oh, you were in like a hype house? The hype house?
Yeah, walk us through that, man.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
wanna hear
really
about this.
interesting
It was-
period, I feel like. There was so much chaos.
My life was chaos
Yeah.
at that time.
Sober chaos. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, it was like
wild.
fully like I was trying to like
They weren't sober.
no, they weren't sober.
But
I
it
was
other
sober.
skateboarders?
No,
all in a it was
it was
like
random-
It was like the
Random kids who I
dancer kids and all that.
met. Not dancer kids,
but
but
like,
like just
gamer,
like
Twitcher,
yeah,
trying to think of-
streamer type.
Dope ass.
yeah.
Who
I
was
think
in
I know
there?
somebody that was in there with you. Fuck, who was that? I'm gonna think on it.
Okay.
I remember seeing a mutual friend with you. Fuck, who was it? I'll think of it.
Okay.
But walk us through. How did
But-
you even get connected with all that?
Well, okay, so I was still dating my ex at the time who like got me into Oak Forest. We split. I started talking to someone else. And ex found out in the house I was like, or the apartment we were renting, she was like, hey, get the fuck out. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well,
That
boys,
makes sense.
I'm homeless. Like, where are we staying? And they're just like, well, we're starting this house. You're in. I'm like, okay, cool. But it was like an Airbnb apartment in Beverly Hills area. I was like, all right, cool. I'm just going to like crash on the couch until we get our house. And then it took like 6 months for the house to come. And I'm like, yo, I'm going broke. Like, we need to figure this out. Like, we're all like hurting. And so, yeah, I got the house finally. And just like the whole time I'm like filming videos that I wasn't stoked on, but like really stoked on all my friends. And it was like I finally had my little community of people who knew about my sobriety, who knew like where I was, and they were like, hey, you need to go to a meeting. Hey, you need to do this. Like, call your sponsor. And I was like, oh, like people who aren't sober are checking me on my sobriety,
That's awesome.
which was like really cool
Yeah.
and really eye-opening because I'm like, there are genuine people who care about me.
How many people were in the house?
6.
Damn.
Yeah, 6 to like 8. We had like floaters.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, okay, this is sick. Like, people care about me. I feel cared about where I never really felt cared about before because all my friends were like using and like I was using with them, and it was just like, well, fuck you, I want drugs. And then
What was it like living in a content house?
chaotic. Dude, like nothing was clean. Like I woke up and like I love this kid to death. Like I still call him as much as I can. But I wake up, I go to like his room to just like, hey, you want to go get coffee? And I see like Popeyes in his bed and shit. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? I go to the kitchen. Kitchen's a mess. Bathroom's a mess. The only thing that was like clean was like the living room. And I'm like still like peak sober where You know, like your OCD is
Yeah.
kicking in,
And you've
everything.
been living at Oak Forest before that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You were like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah,
this
like
sucks.
everything has to be like in order, and nothing was in order except for like my room. So I'd like never leave my room because I'm like, I'm not cleaning for other people right now. Like if we had a chore list, sick. Because I did floors a lot at Oak Forest encounters. That was like my shit. So I was like, I'm gonna make this look good every time. Because it was something like chores became a thing I looked forward to at Oak Forest. Because I'm like, okay, like it is a 20-minute part of my day that I know where I have to be and do like a task. Mm-hmm. There's like the wake up 6 a.m. meeting, right? But like I no longer had that. So it was like chores outside of Oak Forest. Mm-hmm. And then, so I just never left my room. And then I was like, this is getting really old. And then everyone was like, kind of had like a group meeting. Things weren't going the same. Someone in the house left. And we were all like, all right, it's done. We're all moving. And then moved in with the girl I was seeing at the time. And that was gnarly. It was great, but it was gnarly. I moved back up here. I was in like Orange County. And then I was like, I need to be around my program. And one of our friends.
How much time did you get that first sobriety?
Almost 2.
Almost 2.
Yeah.
And then you had a relapse.
Yeah, that's a story.
And why do you think?
Oh my God, that's a story.
Let's unpack that.
Yeah. Why do you think you relapsed?
Because I was, I just gone through a breakup. That alone, like with my in my first healthy relationship ever, and I was like, okay, like this is crazy. Like I had a girl who cared about my sobriety, who came to my 1-year meeting, or my like me taking a cake and everything. And it ended and I was like, oh shit, like this sucks. Like this is my first time also being sober in a breakup. Didn't know how to handle it. And literally 2 weeks after the breakup, I'm on a flight to Europe for a month. So I'm like,
why were you going to Europe?
I was a personal assistant for a TikToker. Good friend of mine still to this day. And he had Paris Fashion Week, but before that there was a music festival that we were going to, and it was me, him, and 2 other friends. Mm-hmm. And we landed. All our bags are lost. No one knows.
Oh, fuck. That's my worst nightmare.
Yeah. We had no clothes. We had just been traveling for like 12 hours.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. And like,
I think you called me, right?
Yeah.
During Fashion Week?
Well, this was like a couple weeks before we were in Spain, but it's still like, hopefully they get there.
Right.
And I'm like in charge of like,
Jesus.
That's a
the
lot.
kid I'm like working for, and then 2 other kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is bad. Like, what am I, like, I'm in charge of this. My shit's gone too. And I'm like, all I have is my skateboard and a backpack. Like, me being me, now I'd be like, oh, dude, sick. I have my skateboard and a backpack. I have everything I need. I'm good. But now I'm like, shit, I got to take care of these kids. So I'm freaking out. I'm talking to Air France. I'm like, where's our shit? And they're like, oh, it's still in London. I'm like, we didn't even have a layover in London. Mm-hmm. How is that possible? And then whatever, works itself out. We go to the festival. Like, the people there were really nice and like got us clothes to change it too. And yeah, I'm like, I need a Red Bull. Can someone please get me a Red Bull? In a foreign country where none of us speak any sort of Spanish. He walks up to the bar. There's a red flag. Walks up to the bar, asks for a Red Bull, brings it to me. It's a Red Bull vodka. But he like, I don't think he knew. But like, maybe he did. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And I just downed it. Because I was like, I need something. Mm-hmm. And then started feeling like a little weird. And I was like,
so you didn't realize when you were drinking it?
No, because it was just so like,
the Red Bulls.
Yeah.
The Red Bull goes on.
Yeah. It was weird. I was like, you'd think you'd like, Red Bull's like flatter when there's like vodka in it, but it wasn't so random to me. And I was like, why do I feel weird? And then they all looked at me, and like one kid giggled. I go, dude. I was like, all right, well, time to start the sick one.
Yeah.
3 days of
They
just
didn't
like,
know what they were in for.
no, dude. 3 days.
Yeah.
Personal assistant isn't assisting anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Personal assistant needs an assistant.
Yeah. Yeah.
It needs a chaperone.
Dude, it was
Needs
crazy.
a bodyguard.
Dude, I puked in the gorilla's dressing room.
Stop it.
I don't know how I like it was the most random thing in the world.
Do you remember doing that, or did someone tell you?
Someone told me I did it.
Oh shit!
And I was like, how the fuck did I end up there?
Did
How
you,
did I
did you
end
do
up
any
here?
drugs over there?
No.
It was just alcohol.
Yeah. And that's like what pissed me off the most about my relapse was that I didn't
It was a
like
3-day relapse, and then you got sober, and you've been
Yeah.
sober since.
no, I relapsed. Well, like I was trying to stay sober and I was like really mad at my relapse that I didn't do the things that I liked doing, like smoke weed or do drugs.
You didn't make it count
Yeah.
how it was supposed to. Yeah.
Dude, that's how crazy my mind
No,
was
for
at
sure,
the
man.
time.
I
Oh,
love it.
that makes so much
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. That's
So-
alcoholism.
Yeah, but during that little 3-day thing, I called you, RJ. Always call you. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Every time I go,
He's a problem solver.
yeah, I know he is. And like, sick.
Jesus.
But I call
Gotta solve that
you,
problem.
and I go, hey man, like, I just went out. Oh no.
We're being attacked.
I'm
The
like-
microphones are moving in.
Yeah, I call you. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I just went out. I relapsed. And you're like, all right. Did you call your mom? Like, shit, I should probably do that. Because I was so scared because the last thing my mom said to me at Oak Forest was like, if you do this again, I'm no longer your mother.
Mm.
And that scared
That's
the
deep. Yeah.
fuck out of me.
That's scary.
Like, that alone brought
His
me to
mom's no
tears.
bullshit, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, that's why I
Love
was so
that.
scared.
Yeah.
So, call my mom. I'm like, hey, I'm drunk. She's like, are you going to keep being drunk? I'm like, I don't want to be. Like, I don't want to be in this situation. Like, I was doing so well, and now I'm not. I don't know what to do right now. I'm also in a foreign country,
Mm.
and I can't leave because I'm working. So, like, I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what to do. And she's like, call RJ. I'm like, I just got off the phone with RJ.
RJ told me to call you.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, well, fucking get sober.
Mhm.
Like, figure it out. I don't care what you have to do.
Did
Like,
you go to a meeting over there?
no.
Oh.
I was like trying to get on Zoom meetings
Yeah,
back
okay.
here.
But how long did you stay sober after that? It's like a couple months or
It was a
something.
couple months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
It wasn't super long.
Yeah, and then you
But-
used.
Yeah.
And what'd you use?
Everything I could get my hands on.
For how long?
Like, month or two.
After you got back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During that relapse, in the back of your mind the whole time, were you thinking about like AA and
Yeah.
all of that? You know,
Yeah,
like
no,
the
like-
seed was planted, and you couldn't use like comfortably after
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, when, like, after that 3-day, I woke up and I had COVID. So I was already just like double fucked.
Damn. Oof.
Goddamn.
And so I like get to Paris, and then I'm like, I can't leave my hotel room because like I'm sick. So I'm just cooped up in this hotel room until I test negative. And then once I tested negative, I was like, okay, like started writing again, started like really just being like, I need to do everything I can to stay sober. Like everything I can. And yeah, it didn't last because I had no initial program like at all, like going from the relapse to like straight to a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I didn't know what to do, and I would try to go on Zoom and it like wasn't working, and I'm like, what the like times are different.
You relapsed the second time.
Yeah.
And then what happens after that?
That was like a peak emotional bankruptcy moment. Where I was like, I'm gonna die. Like if I keep doing this, like I'm dead. Like there's no turning back from it, and I didn't want like my family to see me do that. Like,
Mhm.
and then to like my friends to be like, dude, how could I have helped him? Because there is no helping me at that point. Like, especially for people who haven't been through that situation. And so, yeah, like.
So what'd you do at that point?
I called my original sponsor, Mr. Matt Larson, and I was like, hey, take me through this. Like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it fucking right. And yeah, really dived back into my program and took like, when I first did the steps, in my head, it felt honest. Right? You go through that inventory and you're like, everything is coming out right now. But it still felt like there was lingering thoughts that I hadn't put to paper yet. Right? Things I had resentments toward, and, you know, like maybe there was an amends I should have made that I didn't. And this one was like, hey, no bullshit. I'm doing my shit. Like, I'm getting this done.
And I went, what did you do the second time through the work that you didn't do the first time? Like, specifically, do you think?
Be honest with myself. And like during that fifth step, like really get it out there. Like the whole like speak your truth sort of situation where it was like, I didn't want to hold back anymore. I wanted to release all these negative feelings that I had toward myself, and like I wanted to get my resentments out, and I wanted to be a better human because I never felt like I was being better when I was like first getting sober. Like like, you know, I had the girl, I had the house, I had everything going for me, but there was something missing. And it was just me being brutally honest with myself.
Were there any amends you left off the first time that you made the second time?
Yeah.
Like what?
You?
Me?
Yeah.
Really?
Amends to you.
I knew that was coming. I could have bet anything.
My sponsor, my dad, my ex, which I know is like a weird one, but
your dad
it was like
your dad was a big one, right?
Dad was a huge one.
Yeah. And you didn't do that the first time.
I half-assed it.
That's right.
I was like, hey, sorry, dude.
Yeah.
What about your aunt?
Yeah, that's a big one too. Yeah, that was like a Thanksgiving one too. I was like, this is the next time I'm seeing you, so I'm gonna do it.
Fire.
Yeah, friends, like certain friends for sure.
Yeah,
but just like financial amends was a big one. Yeah, because it was like I didn't have money. I was like, I'll do whatever I can. And they're like, dude, when you have it, just do it. I'm like, okay, thank you. So, yeah.
So what does life look like today?
Dude, it's great. Yeah. I'm like, I wake up, I go on a 30 to 60 mile bike ride.
Whoa.
I go to work.
You're riding bikes?
Yeah.
Like road bikes?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, I love it.
Why? How'd you get into that? Why'd you get into that?
Lived in Mammoth, and a bunch of my friends got into it.
Okay.
And then I'd see them do like road races.
Wait, how many miles?
Like 30 to 60.
Fire. God.
Yeah.
That sounds insane to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like so much.
No, it's like
on a bike. You
Is
can
that just
crush
an
that.
average?
Yeah, it's like
well, you're
2
cruising.
hours.
How
yeah.
fast are you going?
Pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, you can get up to like 50, 60 miles an hour.
100%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're cruising.
You're
if it's a good
mashing.
road bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love my road bike.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, and like last year I got to last year my mom and I finally went and ran this 100-miler together.
You ran 100 miles?
Yeah.
Okay, now that's crazy. That's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right?
no, that was
That's
like
a lot.
that was
He doesn't do anything not extreme.
no, but like it was a bit there was a lot of insanity involved where it was
Okay.
like I got told about the race 2 months before it and I was like, all right, well I guess I'm gonna start training.
Hold
And
on,
I
wait,
didn't
wait.
start training.
You only had 2 months to prepare for it?
Yeah, and I like
Do you run normally though?
like no.
God.
But look at it. He weighs like
Yeah,
120
Yeah.
pounds. He's just like a little spring.
Yeah, I was like, well, my mom's doing it, so I have to do it.
That's so sick.
Like I did it because she asked me to do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't
And
disappoint
what was
my
that
mom.
experience like?
Yeah.
Dude, it was sick.
Yeah.
We spent New Year's running.
Yeah.
Like New Year's Eve,
That's
like
so crazy.
midnight.
How long did
hits.
that take?
52-ish?
52 hours?
Yeah. Not straight though. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah, you take-
I
yeah, yeah.
rested. But like a lot of people, I tell them the time, and they're like, straight. I'm like, no,
No.
Oh,
like not a
okay.
fucking chance.
Yeah. They had to
So do you
make
just
100
stop at like a
miles, but they-
hotel and sleep, or do you have to
Yeah.
like sleep on the trail?
No,
So
like
you
I
have to
was,
go somewhere and sleep.
it
and
was
then
like
start
this.
again.
It was a 1.4 mile loop,
Okay.
and every 4 hours, like you do the loop one way, and then 4 hours you'd switch it the other way, so you don't get bored.
Oh, okay.
But
literally just
yeah.
gonna do 100
Yeah.
miles.
yeah,
Okay.
I bought a yoga mat and a blanket, and I would sleep in the bed of my truck, take naps. It's
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I'm doing it again.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but like my life now is sick, dude. I'm active. Like
Are you happy?
I don't. Happiness is crazy. I think contentment, for sure. I'm definitely happier now than I was before. You know, I'm passionate about what I do for work. Where before I was like, skating was my job, like social media was my job, and now I get to have fun doing those things, and that means the world to me. And I love cooking. I love being in a kitchen. I love the chaos from it. Like a really big dinner rush. Nothing beats that.
Where do you cook?
Where do I cook?
Yeah.
Vista in Hermosa Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah. And how long you been doing that for?
I just started there. Before that, I was in Mammoth cooking.
Okay.
Yeah, Volcania, Italian,
So,
pasta station.
yeah.
Just like every night was just like,
yeah.
like you're getting your shit pushed in, and it's great.
Booth packed.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, we've got 5 minutes.
Oh shit.
We got to know where does the name Booth Pack come from?
Oh God. Okay. So before my Instagram handle was my first name and then underscore and then my last name, which is too long. And in Kansas City, like this is when Fat Nick and Puya and Germ, yeah,
Love them.
where they were like, I'm smoking boof back, and I'm like, oh dude, boof back means good weed. Like I like smoking weed. And I'm young, so I'm like, all right, cool. I need to change my Instagram name to something more catchy, so like it works.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I smoke weed. I smoke boof. Right? And I'm like, all right, this is it. And then, so I was like, boof back. And I was like, wait, it doesn't work with 1K. So I put 2Ks in there. And I'm like, all right, we're on.
Wow.
And that's how that started. But then I moved to California, where it means the opposite. It means bad. Well, no, like it means bad weed here.
Yeah.
Oh,
It also means like shoving drugs up your ass to get high.
Yeah.
But which like once I got into the men's house, yeah.
Yeah.
So but in California it means bad weed. And I was like good weed bad or good skater bad weed. It works.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it just works.
Fire.
Yeah. And it makes people think. They're like, what?
Yeah, no, like a lot of times people are like, "Oh, dude, you smoke really shitty weed," and I'm like, "That's your take on this?" I'm like, dude, like,
It's all about perspective.
yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Well, I'm like,
Perspective
once I
of
got into the rooms and people found out my Instagram, they're like, "So what drugs were you shoving up your ass?" So I'm like, dude, I'm like, no, it wasn't like that. I promise. They're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, sure.
They're like, all
Yeah.
right.
Save it for your Vista.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
I asked you before if you had ever boofed anything. What was your response?
I just said no, and then I go, well, there was one time
Yeah.
because I was driving in Kansas City and I got pulled over because I was speeding, and I had like, I had like an 8-ball just sitting in my cup holder, and I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know where to put this, and I'm like smoking weed too. I'm like, this is bad. Like I'm getting searched. I'm like, all right, well, know what I got to do now.
Time to pack the booth.
God.
Keister
backed
did. I was like, all right,
Put in your skin purse.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Didn't get searched either, and I got so mad about it. I'm like, God, fuck.
Yeah. And you're like, I got to get it out. Shit.
So, yeah,
Good
that's
times.
yeah, the one time.
So how much time you got now?
2 years, December 18th.
Hell
Right.
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That's
You gonna come take a cake at Bonfire?
yeah.
Good.
That's where I took my first one.
Good.
Yeah, Took a cake in Mammoth this year.
It's your first 2-year cake, right?
Yeah. Crazy.
Oh.
Crazy.
Yeah, you better come through.
I'll try my hardest.
I'm not making any promises.
Yeah. I've known to yeah, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Dope.
So,
Well, cool, man. I'm glad you came on.
thanks,
Yeah,
man.
thanks
Thanks for
so
having me.
Much.
Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
It's sick.